Britain's Prime Minister just became the first UK leader in 80 years to be publicly humiliated by an American president. And it's about to get much, much worse. Right now, Keir Starmer is watching America's most powerful man systematically destroy Britain's economy, its global influence, and its future. All because Labour made one catastrophic bet. They gambled that Donald Trump would never return to power. They lost. If you want to understand what happens when a country bets against Trump and loses everything, subscribe now, because the next 90 days will determine if Britain survives as a world power or becomes a warning to every other nation watching. Here's what they did. For years, Britain's Labour Party didn't just criticise Trump, they declared war on him. Foreign Secretary David Lammy, the man who now represents Britain to the world, called Trump a woman-hating, neo-Nazi sympathising sociopath. In public, on record, designed for maximum humiliation. Other cabinet ministers piled on. Dictator, racist, pathetic little man, threat to the international order. These weren't random tweets from nobodies. These were calculated attacks from people now running British foreign policy. They assumed Trump was finished. They thought they could safely burn every bridge because 2024 would bring another Democrat to the White House. They were spectacularly, catastrophically wrong. But the insults were just the beginning. During the 2024 election, Labour didn't just endorse Kamala Harris. They sent operatives to American soil. British citizens, funded by Labour Party resources, went door to door in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Nevada, the exact swing states that decide American elections. They posted job listings on LinkedIn. Come to America. Help us defeat Trump. We'll provide housing. When this went public, Trump's legal team filed formal complaints with the Federal Election Commission, calling it illegal foreign interference. The legal details are murky. The political consequences are permanent. In Trump's mind, Labour didn't just insult him. They tried to rig an American election to destroy him. And in Trump's world, that kind of betrayal doesn't get forgiven. It gets punished. January 20th, 2025. Trump's second inauguration. World leaders from every continent descended on Washington, desperate for FaceTime with the returning president. Italy's Giorgia Meloni, front row seat, multiple photo ops. Argentina's Javier Milei, VIP treatment, private meetings confirmed. Even controversial leaders got invitations. Keir Starmer, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, America's supposed third closest ally, not invited, deliberately excluded, publicly humiliated, on the biggest diplomatic stage in the world. Let that sink in. The leader of Britain, the country that stood with America through 2 world wars, the Cold War, Iraq, Afghanistan, every major conflict for 80 years, was treated like a stranger at a funeral. Trump's team made a calculated decision to show every world leader watching. Britain is irrelevant now. That was the warning shot. Here comes the punishment. The United States is Britain's largest trading partner. £280 billion in annual trade. Real jobs, real companies, real paychecks for British families. British exports to America, aerospace, pharmaceuticals, luxury cars, financial services, advanced manufacturing. Entire regions of Britain depend on American markets to survive. Trump has already telegraphed his next move. Countries that disrespect America will face crushing tariffs. According to multiple diplomatic sources, Britain is at the very top of that list. If Trump follows through, and nothing suggests he won't, UK exports could face 25% tariffs or higher. Overnight, British goods become uncompetitive in America. A British company selling in the US would have to raise prices by 25% or absorb the cost themselves. Either way, they can't compete. Manufacturing jobs across the Midlands and North, gone. The pound weakens against the dollar. Imports get more expensive. Fuel costs rise. Food prices spike. The cost of living crisis already crushing British families gets exponentially worse. And Starmer's response? He's begging for a phone call. Sending congratulatory messages through back channels. Desperately trying to get a meeting. Any meeting. Trump's team isn't returning his calls. UK diplomats report being frozen out at international summits. Britain is being actively isolated. Then Starmer made it worse. Somehow, impossibly, he made it worse. He appointed Peter Mandelson as Britain's ambassador to Washington, one of the most critical diplomatic posts in the world. Mandelson is the living embodiment of everything Trump despises. He's synonymous with Tony Blair's globalist New Labour. He's deeply connected to EU establishment elites. He represents the exact political class Trump built his movement to destroy. To anyone who understands Trump's worldview, Appointing Mandelson was either breathtaking stupidity or a deliberate insult. Reports from Washington say the appointment is being openly mocked in Republican circles. Some Trump advisors call it a joke. Others suggest Mandelson might not receive the access British ambassadors have enjoyed for decades. Britain's next ambassador may arrive in Washington already blacklisted. But wait, it gets worse. Elon Musk has declared personal war on Starmer's government. He's using X, 500 million users, to systematically destroy Starmer's credibility worldwide. He's amplifying Labour's biggest scandals: grooming gangs, free speech crackdowns, authoritarian overreach. But Musk isn't just tweeting complaints. He's taking concrete action. He openly endorsed Nigel Farage's Reform UK party. He's threatening to donate tens of millions of pounds to help them win. A foreign billionaire is openly trying to overthrow a sitting British government. And here's the stunning part: millions of Britons are cheering him on. Why? Because they believe Musk is defending British values that their own government abandoned. The contrast is devastating. While Starmer was excluded from Trump's inauguration, Nigel Farage, who holds no official government position, got red carpet treatment. He was paraded around Trump's events like visiting royalty. Trump called him spectacular and highly respected during his inaugural address, praised him in front of a global audience. Trump even claimed Farage influenced his own political strategies. The message couldn't be clearer. Trump sees Farage as a legitimate leader. Starmer is irrelevant. Farage is now positioning himself as the only British politician who can restore the special relationship. And Trump is effectively endorsing that narrative every time he praises Farage and ignores Starmer. The political optics are devastating. The President of the United States openly prefers Britain's opposition leader to Britain's actual Prime Minister. Behind closed doors in Westminster, Labour MPs are panicking. Senior figures are quietly asking the question that terrifies party leadership. Is keeping Starmer as leader worth destroying Britain's relationship with America for the next 4 years? Trump has 4 years in office, 4 years to systematically punish Britain economically, 4 years to exclude Britain from major negotiations, 4 years to build alternative alliances while freezing Britain out, 4 years to openly campaign for Farage and Reform UK. That's an eternity in politics. The damage could be permanent. Multiple sources report leadership challenges being discussed. Names like Wes Streeting and Angela Rayner are circulating as figures who might reset relations with Washington. The private argument is brutally simple. Starmer has become personally toxic to British national interests. Maybe a fresh face could salvage something. But there's a massive problem. Trump's grudges don't just target individuals, they target institutions. He may view any Labour leader as tainted by the party that insulted him and tried to defeat him. And here's the complication that makes everything exponentially worse: Starmer's perceived closeness to China. While Trump is building a global coalition to contain Chinese influence, Starmer's team has maintained notably friendly relations with Beijing. Labour has been reluctant to take strong public stances on Hong Kong, Taiwan, or Uyghur human rights. They've avoided joining US-led initiatives to restrict Chinese access to sensitive technologies. To Trump's team, this makes Starmer not just irrelevant, but potentially dangerous to American security interests. Why would America share sensitive intelligence with a government Beijing might influence? This creates a vicious cycle. The more Trump freezes Britain out, the more Britain strengthens ties with China as an alternative, which makes Trump trust them even less. It's a diplomatic death spiral, and nobody knows how to stop it. Here's what's coming next. Britain gets excluded from key meetings, sidelined at international summits. This is already happening. Right now, tariffs get announced, trade restrictions implemented. British companies feel real pain. British workers lose jobs. This is being prepared as we speak. Trump could openly campaign for Farage and Reform UK. Could treat them as a government in waiting while completely ignoring the actual government. We're currently between stage 1 and stage 2. The question isn't whether Trump will escalate. The question is when and how devastating the consequences will be. Starmer made a catastrophic gamble. He assumed Trump would never return. He thought he could safely burn bridges because those bridges would never matter again. He was spectacularly wrong, and now an entire country is paying the price. The special relationship that defined Anglo-American cooperation since 1945 is collapsing in real time. The economic consequences could be severe and long-lasting. The political implications could reshape Britain's place in the world for decades. Other countries are watching this disaster unfold and adjusting their strategies accordingly. Why prioritise relationships with Britain if it has no influence in Washington? Why include Britain in trade deals if America is actively punishing them? Britain's global influence has always rested on two pillars: its historical legacy and its special relationship with the United States. One of those pillars is collapsing. So here are the questions Britain faces. Will Labour sacrifice Starmer to try salvaging the relationship with Trump's America? Or will they prioritise party loyalty over national interest and hope to survive 4 years in the diplomatic wilderness? Can the damage even be repaired at this point? Or has the window for reconciliation already closed? And most importantly, what happens to a country that loses its most powerful ally and can't get it back? This is one of the most consequential diplomatic crises in modern British history, developing rapidly with new threats emerging almost daily. Subscribe and hit notifications, because what happens in the next 90 days will determine whether Britain remains a world power or becomes a cautionary tale about what happens when you bet against Trump and lose everything.